Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Be Real Entertainment presents Sports Spit, and I'm your host, Jay Maurice, with my co-host,
Slick Vic, Victor Corner. What up, y'all?
Hey, we coming to you from the Hall of Game, where we giving you 360 degrees of game. For y'all that don't understand, that's game all the way round.
Yes, sir.
Hey, today's podcast is going to be the first round wrap-up and the second round preview.
Yes, sir.
The first round just wrapped up with them Dubs doing what they do.
Go ahead and say it with your chest.
Hey,
say it with your chest.
Showing y'all why we the champs. You know, nobody really gave us a real chance because they was like the Kings. They the number 3 seed, and you know. But we gonna get on that much later. We ain't even gonna worry about that. We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
This guy.
We ain't gonna talk.
I'm
about
pretty
that
sure
right
Vegas
now.
had the Warriors picked over.
But that's Vegas. That's Vegas.
And
that's
same
money
thing. Same thing with the Lakers series.
People in general, they was the 3rd seed. They gonna do the Warriors. The Warriors don't even win on the road. Okay,
just say my name. If you're talking about me, just say my name. I'm right here. I don't run from it. You know, it is what it is. I take my lumps. You know, when I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Okay. But let's get this started off, man.
Let's do it.
Let's start it off in the East. Let's start off.
No, man. Let's start off. Finish this round, man. You want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
We wrapping up the first round.
Let's do it.
Start off in the East.
Let's do it.
Okay, the first games was let's start off with that Miami game.
The Miami Bucks series.
Yeah.
Oh man, everybody was wrong on this. If you pick Miami, if you say you pick Miami, you a damn lie.
Okay.
You know.
But I said the Miami Heat was a bad bitch. You know, and for those that have been following the podcast
a few months ago,
you know, hey, I said if they defense will travel, if they bring their defense and tighten their defense up, they are a bad bitch. And they prove what I've been saying, you know. But did I think that they would beat the Milwaukee Bucks? No, I didn't.
Nobody thought that.
I didn't. But I knew that they were a bad bitch. They beat the Bucks and then they won the first. Well, we ain't gonna talk about that, right? In this second, we're gonna hold off. But they beat the Bucks. How many games did Giannis play?
Giannis played in 3. Well, he played in 2 games and the first quarter of the first game. So whatever you want to call that.
So 2 full games and
a
quarter.
quarter. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not all on Giannis. Giannis shared some. He was there for 2 of the games. I think he probably wasn't full strength for either of the games, but he was Giannis in game 7 or game 5 definitely, and they just lost. They got beat. I mean, Giannis was 10 of 22 from the free throw line. Like you can't do that in an elimination game and expect to win.
Yeah, he did choke up the free throw line.
You cannot do that. And then at that last possession.
That was like the Giannis of old.
Yeah, I mean, he got rid of the ball because he did not want to get fouled.
Right, that was the Giannis of old where he couldn't make a free throw.
And if
scared.
And that's the same thing I think about players like Shaq, players like.
No, Shaq made him when it counted.
Well, that's what Shaq could tell you. Yeah,
he did. That's why they got 4. Well, yeah, 4 rings. No, 3
but
rings.
Players like Dumpster Juice Ben Simmons, like. And even players like Rondo, like when your primary ball handler and the best player on your team, if you cannot give them the ball, that is a liability in the last minutes of the game. You cannot have your best player running from the ball,
right,
or wanting to get rid of the ball,
right,
and scared to get fouled. That is a liability for your team, absolutely, and the recipe for disaster for your season.
To me, if he can't handle the ball at the end of the quarter or at the end of the game, he's not your best player.
Yeah. But he's definitely their best player. He's an MVP. Like, they ain't got nobody on that team that's close to that.
But he got to work on that.
He's definitely got to work on it. Well, now, after they were eliminated, did you hear Giannis's comments about the season?
Saying that it wasn't a failure or something like that. It was a failure. Because you know why?
Why?
They've won a championship before. So in Milwaukee, they are expecting to win. You know what I'm saying? They had a taste of that championship. You know, they've bitten into the championship trophy. And they wanted another bite. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when you a champ like that, or once champ and not too recent,
Yeah.
it's a failure for it because that's a team that was predicted to win the whole thing. They were the number one favorites.
I mean, not only were they
overall.
Yeah, they not only were they expected to win, but they had the best record. They had been the best team in the league all year.
That's what I'm saying. They were the number one overall favorites.
They were number one overall seed over the entire playoffs. They had home court advantage, period, throughout. And I agree with you. I think for Giannis to say it wasn't a failure, I think he's just salty. I think he's just salty.
Yeah. Because he was letting that reporter have it.
Yeah, he wasn't letting the reporter have it, but he was just annoyed and frustrated that he's gonna come at him like that.
He was passively aggressive and heavy on the aggressive.
Yeah, if I say I don't think that's passive aggressive. I think he was like
because he pulled back a couple times, like no,
well,
I'm not gonna make it personal.
Yeah, he didn't want to make a mistake. He didn't want to all right.
Yeah,
you know.
Mm-hmm. But he wanted to let him know.
Yeah, and I'm sure, but when he used Michael Jordan as an example, I'm sure Michael Jordan would tell you 9 seasons were a failure.
9 seasons was a
Kobe
failure.
would tell you that.
Definitely. But
Kobe
see, it's a different type of player when you got like a Michael Jordan or Kobe. They're in a different league than Giannis. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what I've heard
and
Jalen
they see
Rose
the game
say,
different.
Right? Yeah, definitely. But I'll take this from Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose used to always say, like, there's winning in the game of sports and basketball, and there's winning in the game of life.
Yeah.
Giannis is definitely winning in the game of life.
Most definitely.
He,
from where he came from?
Yeah. I mean, he was sleeping on floors and selling, goods on a street corner and stuff.
To a NBA MVP.
Yeah.
Finals MVP.
Yeah, to a 100 millionaire.
Yeah.
So.
But it definitely was a failure, Giannis. So
but
you ain't convincing nobody.
Yeah, their season was a failure, and
to get knocked out by
that's just it.
A team that lost in the play-in tournament, the first game they lost to Atlanta in the first game of the playoff tournament, and then shook that loss off. That's a bad bitch. Shook that playoff loss off, and then knock off the number one overall seed. Man, that was epic.
What's the opposite of a catfish? Is it like a librarian? Like, when she take off her glasses and shake her hair?
Yeah, she nice. And then she stand up. And you see that, like, ooh, I didn't know she was sitting on all that.
Yeah, like,
I didn't know she was sitting on all that.
That's one of them, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because Miami, they was mid-pack all year, man. It was mid-pack all year.
Yeah, but I knew if they can get their defense, because I said that, if they can get their defense right, they gonna wreak some havoc.
Yeah.
And
they did that. Yeah. And I mean, in Miami, Jimmy Butler, he ain't no slouch. He went Hall of Fame mode on they ass.
Jimmy.
Like 98 points in 2 games. Are you crazy?
Jimmy.
So, I mean, it was just that after they got those first 2 games and Miami was coming back, it was blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And those boys are some piranhas, man. They was on their ass, man.
They was sharks. There's sharks down
whatever,
there.
Whatever, man. That blood in the water, it was a wrap. Like they seen that blood in the water. Them Bucks was wounded, and they was on them. They was on them.
Most definitely. Okay, what was the second game in the
second
East?
series? Let's go ahead and gloss over the Philadelphia Sixers and the Brooklyn Nets real fast.
Okay.
Just gloss on it just as fast as the series was.
Okay. Philly won.
Yeah, Philly won the series.
But
not competitive.
Joel is hurt.
Yeah.
He gonna miss the first 2 games in the next round. Supposedly, he might.
Yeah, they said he's definitely out for game 1, and he's doubtful for game 2. So that does not bode well for them in their second round matchup against the Boston Celtics.
So, like I was telling you, like before we came on air, like if he don't play them first 2 games, they concede in them first 2 games because I feel like they're gonna lose them first two
Yeah.
games. They might be spirited,
Right.
but they're gonna lose them first two
But
games.
I just don't want to call it concession, because concession, you give it to them. They're going to still go out there and play and try to win. They're going to give a good effort.
Right.
But the chances are they're fighting an uphill battle, man. So I wouldn't call it conceding.
I do.
But they don't have. I mean, because Milwaukee won game 2 without Giannis. They didn't concede that game.
But Milwaukee got different players than Philly got.
They got James Harden,
and who else?
Who's not playing great. They got
Maxey, and that's it.
They got Milton. They got Shake.
But Shake ain't at that level. Shake is all right. He ain't even a Lamar Odom.
Yeah, he definitely Lamar Odom.
You know, so
I mean, but those guys, they just gotta.
Oh
they
yeah,
got
they got Tobias Harris.
They got Tobias. Everybody forget about Tobias. I think Tobias look up and be like, "Oh shit, I'm on the team." I think he forget he on the team.
Boy, Philly know that they Saudi like. They had Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler, and they let Jimmy Butler go and kept Tobias Harris. I know whoever was the general manager need to be fired and be kicked in the ass.
Oh, he gone.
Oh yeah, that's what he get.
Yeah, he gone.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna keep Tobias and leave and let Jimmy go? Yeah, you don't even need to work. You need to just be broadcasting or something, or taking stats.
Yeah, I mean, at least they finally gave up on Ben Simmons. That's all I got.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, the biggest implication on that series is that Joel Embiid got hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
he's still messing
Bridges
with
played okay. I mean, but I don't think they're going anywhere with Bridges as their best player. They still need more talent out in Brooklyn. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll talk about them more next year. But yeah, so let's go on to the next. Next we've got Boston. We'll talk about Boston and Atlanta. What'd you think about that series?
I expected Boston to beat them 4-1, but they went 4-2.
Yeah, I expected them to sweep, and they went to Game 6.
I thought that I knew that Atlanta at least would get one game.
I didn't have very much confidence in it at all. Like, they seemed like a team that really wasn't together, even though they did win their playing game and they beat Milwaukee or Miami. But I didn't think that meant anything. Like, because they're just the Celtics beat up on them all year. Like, I don't know if they beat the Celtics all year in the regular season. So I just didn't have any confidence that they could do anything with Tatum and Brown and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they get one game, they got two.
They got two of them.
And so I don't know if that's more to say about the Hawks or the Celtics. Like, the Celtics were they just playing around?
They was complacent in them 2 games.
And honestly, they need to be, like we were talking about Miami, like having blood in the water. With Milwaukee gone, yeah. Like it's their conference to lose.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
They should be, especially with Embiid and the condition he in.
But you got to know, you still got the Miami Heat.
Yeah. I mean,
if Miami can beat them, even though they play different styles, Milwaukee play different styles than Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give them a chance. It ain't gonna be no walkover.
No, Jimmy Butler ain't rolling over for nobody.
Nah.
He ain't rolling over for nobody.
Nah. But they got to get past the Knicks. But okay, so Boston, you got them as the favorite pretty much.
Yeah.
Coming out of the East.
Yeah, I think the East is theirs to lose at this point. I don't see anybody who can compete with him, especially with Embiid in the condition he was in, that he's in right now.
Embiid, you got to come back, baby.
And then James Harden can't get past anybody after hurting his calf or something like that.
He hurt himself again.
Well, this is when he was hurt during the regular season, but he still ain't right. And so he can't get past anybody. He can't separate. And so...
Man, I kind of put him in the same mode as Chris Paul. In that, when it comes to crunch time, their bodies just fall apart on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's been many of seasons where Chris Paul then came up lame in the playoffs. Then came James Harden too.
And I think this is why it is so hard to have a point guard be your best player to win like that. It's
Unless you're the Warriors.
But but you spoke about this last year or last pod that you've kind of seen in the playoffs Steph slow down also
in the beginning of his career.
And so that is the thing. That is a factor that those smaller guards do tend to wear down in the playoffs. If they're your best player and they're your main option and everything is funneled through them, those guys wear down. That's just honestly that's just because it's about them being smaller players. They're the smallest guys on the team, for the most part.
Right.
And that's probably why half the championships in the league, especially in the early years, were won by centers, as being the best players.
Well, that's because the game was a different game, and the game was based on your big men.
Yeah, but those guys we don't hear a bunch of those like Bill Russell wearing down and Wilt Chamberlain wearing down or Kareem wearing down,
Yes. In Magic's first year, Kareem wore down. That's why Magic had to take the center spot.
Did he wore down or did he get hurt?
That's the same thing. It's the same thing. You breaking down in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most vital.
Mm-hmm.
The most important moment. Your body can't go. You done brought them so far,
mm-hmm.
and then when it comes time, you can't keep going with the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that an exception or is that a rule?
Okay, well, but that's Kareem. That's Cap.
Yeah,
that's Cap.
He got 6 of them.
That's the greatest, one of the greatest players in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
But back to what you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think. Harden, him not being able to be mobile, him wearing down. I don't see it. I don't see this being a long series. I don't see it particularly being a competitive series. And so I'm gonna say we'll get to our predictions, I guess, when we get to the second round, but
yeah,
I don't expect it to be a long series.
Okay.
So with that said, let's talk about the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, man.
That series. We thought that was gonna be like one of the best series of the first round.
Yeah, that was not a good series. Jalen Brunson just killed them.
Yeah, it was like an M80 that just didn't go off.
Jalen Brunson, boy, that boy is special, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Those boys, they gritty, man. They tough.
He gonna be the next round of point guards to come in and do what they do. Because he definitely made it happen in the playoffs, not in the regular season, but in the playoffs. Something that number 12 is going to have to realize and understand. And when I say 12, everybody, they know who I'm talking about when I say 12.
Who are you talking about?
The Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant. All that stuff you do in the regular season, that's wonderful. That's nice. That's cute. But you make your bones in the playoffs. And if you talk big and you don't do what you're supposed to do or what other people say that you're going to do because you say, we put you on a pedestal. I didn't. I like you,
mm-hmm.
but you ain't did nothing in the playoffs.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson has did something in the playoffs. You, Mr. 12, nothing.
What did Brunson do in the playoffs?
Man.
Now I'm confused.
He played the Cavaliers like he was killing the Cavaliers.
Yeah, he killed the Cavs.
Yeah, but that's the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's
playoffs.
And then when he played with Dallas, he was killing them.
They beat Phoenix.
He was killing.
They beat Phoenix. And, who did they lose to the Warriors?
They lost to the Warriors.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody lost to the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it go. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean,
you can't really fault him for that.
Yeah, I mean, he lost to the Warriors too.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
Mr. Brunson
they
ain't talking.
They
Mr.
won a
Brunson
series.
ain't
They won a
talking.
series last year. Like you
Yeah,
know,
they won a couple
so
series.
he's
They
he's
won
done
more
about
than
as
more
much
than a
as
series. They won. They went to the finals, the Western Conference Finals.
oh Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay, they won 2
And
series.
then they went up against, you know what I'm saying, the champs.
And they lost. Yeah,
Yeah.
they took out.
Say that one more time, like how that sounded.
They lost to the champs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, I'm gonna get up off of him right now. I'm gonna get back to U12 later. But you know, Brunson killing him.
Yeah.
Who came up?
Dog.
Who came up short was Mobley and what's that other big man?
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen. I can't remember his name. Bro, you got to make me remember. You ain't even doing nothing to make me remember your name, and I picked y'all. You know what I'm saying?
You always call him nice too. Like man, he nice, man. Whatever his name. What's his name is nice.
Nice, yeah.
What's his name?
Man, what's his name? Yeah, my man, what's his name? What's his name? Yeah, he nice. That's what I'm gonna start calling him.
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? he came up short. Both of them came up short in the playoffs, man. Garland was he was iffy. You know what I'm saying? I think this was his first playoff experience, and
did you hear the quote from Jared Allen after they got eliminated?
No, I didn't hear that.
He said the lights were brighter than he thought.
That's his first. That's what a rookie, and I ain't mean as far as being in the league. I'm talking about a playoff rookie. That's what they would say. Because they wasn't expecting it to be the way it was.
Prepared, man.
Yeah,
wasn't prepared for it.
Mentally, he wasn't prepared mentally. They came up hella short, man. You know, I feel like Mitchell did what he was supposed to do, but he could have did a little better. Garland, he's a rookie.
I think it's
in the playoffs.
But they were cheating off of Mobley and Allen, and they were just packing the paint. So, like they didn't have no room really to drive anywhere because they were cheating off of Mobley and Allen because they weren't factors offensively.
Right.
They weren't worried about them, so they were cheating off of Mitchell and cheating on Garland, and you know you can only make so many tough shots.
Now I kind of put some of that on the coach though, because I feel like the coach should have seen that and devised a game plan to get them guys into the game. You know, down low, throwing some oops, throwing some oops or backdoor cuts, and I kind of put a little bit of that on the coach a little bit. What you say?
I don't know. I don't know what you do. Because if they don't have a developed offensive games, you can give the ball to Allen in a post, but they probably say go ahead. You know, post up Jared Allen.
That's why you got to come through. That's why all of them hours of gym time is supposed to come in. You know, because when you in the gym, I doubt if you're working on rebounds.
That ain't his role, man. You getting somebody.
If you setting screens and roll into the basket, what? You're supposed to set a screen, roll to the basket, prepare for the rebound, or take the shot, or you know what I'm saying, prepare for the ball and take an easy, close in the paint type of shot, or on the block, a shot. You know, that's a big man. You're supposed to be able to make that, and you could get 5 of them a game, at least 5 of them a game.
But apparently Allen didn't think it was that easy.
That's what I'm saying, man. The coach. That's why I feel like a little bit of that is on the coach. That's where I see it.
And a lot of people, to kind of go back to the Milwaukee series, a lot of people felt like Coach Bud didn't make enough adjustments, and he didn't make good adjustments because Budenholzer has always been a coach that that has a plan, sticks to his plan. We don't deviate from the plan.
Right.
Just follow the plan, and that's it. You know, we win or lose with my plan. And one of his rules was we don't double Jimmy Butler.
That didn't work out really
the guy had 100 points in 2 games. Like, you might want to do something else.
Right.
They also asked Giannis why didn't he guard Jimmy Butler more in the series, and he said that's the coach's decision. I won't disrespect my coach and
Speak against the game
yeah,
plan.
yeah. So
That wasn't in the game plan.
but I myself know if that's Kobe, if that's MJ,
Mm-hmm.
they saying give me him,
Mm-hmm.
give me him.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't even saying give me him. I'm taking him.
Right.
I'm taking him.
Right.
And that's it.
See, but
That's it. That's all.
When we talking about lions and lambs, you know what I'm saying? When you speak on Kobe and MJ, them are lions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's king of the court.
I mean, I get
those are the real kings.
Get the Giannis being like
a pup,
not being a pup
to the playoff,
but him being like foreigner and him being like maybe respect is big in his culture where he's from, but these guys like MJ and Kobe, like they don't care, man. Like if they gotta be disrespectful, they gonna be disrespectful.
Right.
They trying to win. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about none of that.
Exactly.
They want to win, and if they see an avenue to win, they gonna take it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they gotta cuss the coach out to do it, or if they gotta
go against the coach.
Kobe.
Yeah, go against the coach.
Phil Jackson once said that he liked coaching Shaq more than Kobe because
he said Kobe was the hardest player to coach.
Yeah, because he said Shaq would he'd give Shaq instructions. Shaq would pout and moan and say he ain't gonna do that, but then he'd go out into the game and do whatever Phil told him to do.
Right.
Now he said when it was time for him to tell Kobe to do something, he'd tell Kobe, "Hey Kobe, do this, do that, do that." Kobe, "Yeah, I got you. Then he'd get in the game and Kobe would do whatever Kobe wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so that's what but sometimes that stubbornness is what you need, man. Depending on that on the situation. I'm sure Kobe's stubbornness hurt him in his career at some point. I'm sure it did.
All right. But
he's a 5-time champion. However it shook out, he was a 5-time champion after it was all said and done. And Giannis is a champion. And once you win a championship, you get the power to overrule.
In certain circumstances.
Period. You get the power to overrule.
Not for one championship.
For one you got to get one to get two.
You got to definitely get one to get two. But once you start to get to 2 to 3, you know what I'm saying? Then you can start to overrule. But just off of the one, you can, but you can't.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Well, the same thing about the coach. You can't win one title and be a know-it-all.
It's coaches that's a know-it-all that ain't won none.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and. So, are we done with Cleveland and New York? You got something to say about Cleveland?
Cleveland was definitely a disappointment, and New York shocked me. But New York was quietly a good team the first season in the regular season. Mm-hmm. When I say first season, because I always say that the regular season is a season all by itself, and the playoffs is another season. Mm-hmm. And in their first season, they were quietly a decent team because they had a better record than my Warriors. Mm-hmm. And I think they was the same series.
Who'd you take right now if they play each other though?
Who? If who was to play each other?
You just said they had a better record.
Yeah, they had a better record because they played weaker teams.
Okay. Right.
But who do we think I would take? If New York was but man, I would love that series, man. I would love for the finals to be New York and Golden State. Oh man,
yeah, it'd be a layup, of course.
Oh man,
of course.
Number 5. But
it's like asking an easy girl in school out. Like there ain't no work involved there. That's easy.
Randall got hurt.
Yeah,
Randall got hurt.
Yep, he actually missed game 1.
I'm wondering, is that going to affect them going into the playoffs? Is it going to be a lingering injury?
I think they sat him precautionarily today because they showed him working out before the game. He had a little bit of a limp, but he was shooting and stuff fine. He was.
But it's gonna be the up and down, the stopping,
and the cutting and stuff.
The cutting, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he was walking around and stuff, but
fighting through picks.
Right.
Will he be able to do that?
Well, I mean, I think if you got a sprained ankle, some of that stuff you're just gonna have to like kind of forego. Like you might just go under. You ain't fighting through screens. You're just going under because you can't afford to get messed up. You're already compromised a little bit. So some things you just kind of just like when you're playing with foul trouble. Some things you just kind of just back off a little bit.
Well, who would have thought that it'd have been New York and Miami?
Well, I don't think the New York thing is crazy, but the Miami thing is crazy.
But New York, given their history.
Oh yeah. With Miami.
But no, I'm just saying New York with their history. Period. Like the last few years, yeah. Like who would even say New York besides a New Yorker, Spike Lee or somebody?
I mean, they ain't have a Brunson until now, though.
Ooh.
The Brunson burner.
Ooh, that was a good one. The Brunson burner. Oh, that was a good one. Did you think of that all by yourself?
Yeah, man, I'm clever a little bit.
Okay. All right, the Brunson burner. Yeah, okay. Well, you want to make the second round predictions for the East?
We can, yeah. Yeah, while we're here, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Miami and New York. Miami took the first game.
Took it, like literally took it.
That's because they had
cookies gone.
Bad bitch. Somebody.
I can't even argue.
Somebody said that they wasn't. Somebody said that they was catfish.
Yeah, they was librarian the whole time.
Yeah.
Hot librarian the whole time.
Sitting on something.
Didn't even know
20s. Sitting on 20s. Yeah, you ain't know she was sitting on all that.
I did, man. She had to get up out her seat. Had to stand up for the playouts. It's like, oh, all right.
Okay, so who you think is gonna be the X factor in this series coming up with Miami and New York?
Right now, I think it's ankles. I think ankle's gonna be the X factor.
Julius
Randle's ankle and Jimmy Butler's ankle.
Jimmy hurt his ankle too?
Jimmy rolled his ankle real bad.
Oh man, I ain't even
at
seen
the end of the game. Yeah,
I was saving our match for the Warriors.
5 minutes to go. He was praying, y'all. He was burning sage.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Oh man.
But so Jimmy got a little. I couldn't tell the way he was scoring. He still had 25.
Yeah, well he did. He got hurt in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Oh man, that's the worst.
And so he rolled his ankle, and he was like a non. He didn't come out, but he was a non-factor. He didn't.
That makes it worse though when you don't come out, and if you hurt it, you still running on it and everything. That can.
Yeah, I think
cause lingering problems.
Yeah, I think it's probably really gonna swell up.
Right.
Tonight and then until tomorrow. I think it's gonna really be swole. So I don't think we see Jimmy in game 2. So I think they're probably gonna lose game 2, and then.
But they already got home court.
Yeah, but and whether he can play in game 3 is gonna be 50-50. And with it being Jimmy Butler, I'm betting everything that he will play, but I don't know how effective he'll be. And so,
but okay, he scored 25 in a win. I still think he can get 25 on a bum ankle, and they can still win. But you know who I say the X factor has to be?
Who you got?
Bam
Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo got to be that X factor, man. He got to be the one to step up and do some of the things that he did in the first in the first season, in the beginning.
Yeah.
So to me, the X factor is gonna be Bam. Now, who do you have winning this series and why?
Well, before Butler got hurt, I had Miami win this series. Okay. I thought Miami would beat them, and I'd say 6.
The catfish Miami Heat.
The catfish Miami Heat.
Okay.
The bad bitch Miami Heat.
Okay.
Yeah, but the X factors today were Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent. So
and
go ahead,
Kevin Love.
Yeah, Love.
It was a Love sighting.
Yeah.
He had a couple outlet passes, get that rebound, and doing what he used to do when he was in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Get that rebound and outlet pass. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
He was on point. Like he was Tom Brady or somebody. You know what I'm saying? The way he was hitting dude down court with the pass, he did that like 3 times.
Yeah. I mean, he ended up having 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, but
That's a solid game.
But he had an impact on the game.
That's almost like a Draymond Green
And
game.
but the X factors in this game, like when it became closing time and Butler couldn't give him anything, it was Kyle Lowry and it was Gabe Vincent bringing it home.
They almost wrote Kyle Lowry off.
Man,
some people did write Kyle Lowry off.
18 big ones tonight. Hey, I'm party to that. Yeah, definitely. He was definitely the glasses on the librarian. Like,
hey. Kyle stepped up. I seen him hit a few 3-pointers.
Yeah, he had 3 threes tonight, and Gabe Vincent hit 5. So, and that's how they were able to spring this upset tonight. And
they had a few injuries though. I didn't think they was gonna do as well, right?
Yeah, with
Victor
Hero out,
with Victor Oladipo being out, and Tyler Hero. I didn't think that they were gonna be as good bench wise.
Yeah, but it's just all about will, man, and just toughness. And you ain't out tough in Miami, man.
No,
you might be better than them, but if it's even, they leaving, man. They gonna out tough you every time.
Yeah,
you got to be better than them to beat them. That's it. And the Knicks don't have to prove they better.
Right.
But again, if Jimmy Butler cannot be at least 75%, it's gonna be all in vain because they ain't got without Jimmy Butler, they ain't got that kind of talent to hang.
Okay, so you trying to leave yourself out. Okay, so you saying if Butler don't play, they gonna lose, but if Butler plays, they gonna win.
It sounds like how to go to me.
Okay. Right.
You disagree with that? If Butler played it, or you just like New York all the way around?
No, I don't have a lot of faith in New York. I just don't.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because of past seasons and
they ain't